Yo, what is up? You are back here with No Border Sports. And I've got a guest today. His name is Big Play Slay. He is an Eagles fan from upstate New York,
Yep.
right? Yep.
Right.
Why don't
Right.
you
Right.
tell the people something about yourself, sir?
Yeah, man. I'm an Eagles fan, as you just said. I'm from upstate New York. Um, diehard Eagles fan. Love the Eagles always, and it's always been my thing. Um, more of
Now,
I guess the
how'd you
younger
become an
generation of like
how'd you
Eagles
be,
fans. But
how'd you become an Eagles fan in upstate New York?
oh yeah, it's a funny story. Um, The Giants, I mean, a lot of people say why I didn't become a Giants fan because I'm in New York, NFC
I know
East.
why you didn't become a Giants fan. They
I
suck.
cannot stand that team.
You should have
I
seen my did a show
I
last night. I said they need to move cities. They need to fire their management, fire their owner, change their names, and stop sucking.
I mean, hey, that
They got to
would
start
be
all over.
hilarious.
They got
Um,
some bad juju's. You know what I'm saying? You can't shake that bad juju with that same name, that same logo, those same colors. You got to burn everything to the ground and rebuild.
right. I mean, I became an Eagles fan just based off the fact that LaShawn McCoy was like my favorite player, when I was like really young. So, when he left, that like just that that burnt my heart like completely. Like, oh, I loved LaShawn too. Like, and it just sucked to see him in another jersey, like especially like Buffalo, like another New York team. And that's no disrespect towards Buffalo, the Bills, because I think I love that team too. I'm like not like love them. I like the Eagles, but I have respect for them. I would say, but
So
I
when I was 12,
all right.
Deion Sanders came to the 49ers and we stomped everybody that whole year pretty much, and especially when it came to the Super Bowl, we yeeted we yeeted the San Diego Chargers. I mean, it was disrespectful. And
Mm-hmm.
then one of the reasons why we got there was Dion,
Right.
and he crushed my heart when he moved to Dallas. And I'll tell you what, like I said, I was 13 when it happened. I was in my late 20s. Like I was probably like 27, 28 when I kind of just said, screw it, let the man get his money. You know what I mean? I'm not mad about it anymore. I held that forever. Like I was pissed at him. Every time he came on, I was like, fuck Dion. You know what I'm saying? Like I was really pissed. It's a little
Right.
different situation because it's not like your hated enemy. You know what I mean? At that time, it's like he knew where he was going. Like you could go anywhere else, but you went there. You went there.
Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys, like especially that's when you guys just hated the Cowboys. It's not like right now. Like you guys still
Oh,
have your little rivalries here and there, but like it's not like kind of like how we would feel
no,
with
it's
the
Seahawks now.
Cowboys. Right, but when it was like in the 90s, oh my god, that was like the biggest rivalry like of that like specific time. Like it was
Yeah,
ridiculous. They hated
yeah.
each other. Like Jerry hated that team, and you know, especially when Jerry was questionable from like seeing Dion come to San Francisco. How would he feel if Dion went to Dallas? That and like and I think he was retired by that point. So yeah, man, that put a that in like I guess some Niners fans' heart at that time, but
Oh, I'm
I
telling
it,
you. Like
that would suck.
anytime his name was mentioned, it was fuck Dion.
Yeah,
And I would admit that he was great. You know what I mean? I would admit that he's great, but fuck him. Like,
right.
sorry. So yeah. So the Eagles, LaShawn McCoy.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. How much stuff do you take for being an Eagles fan out there? Because I know you're diehard and you'd be repping your gear everywhere.
I mean, 'cause I'm not a Eagles fan that likes to like bash other teams completely. Like if it's in
No,
like the
I
NFC
know that
East,
about you.
yeah,
Yeah.
if it's the NFC East, it's way different. But if it's other teams, I'll leave y'all alone because y'all are not a part like a part of this division and stuff. Like I get the Niners Cowboys rivalry like extends like beyond like I guess our little rivalry with the Cowboys, but it like I cannot stand that team. And the Giants they come along with the Cowboys. I guess
Okay.
Washington maybe, but it's not like the Cowboys and Giants rivalry.
No,
But
it's not.
yeah. Well, I mean, Cowboys is number one. Like anytime we get to stomp the Cowboys out, it just feels so good to do it, man.
Yeah.
And
No,
I'm
and
glad
then
that you guys beat them in the
the other
playoffs.
thing I like about you is you're very realistic about your team and you're not a homer. You know what I mean? You got no problems criticizing the thing that you love. And I think that's some people don't understand that. Like even when it comes to like your country or your government or stuff like that, you could still love things but want it to be better and criticize it until it is. You know what I mean? Team, you know what I mean? Like, even family members, you can criticize family members and give them creative criticism or constructive criticism. You know what I mean? And it's not mean. You're just saying, hey, I see something that you could be doing better. You know what I mean? And this is how you do it. You know what I mean? But
hmm
yeah, really appreciate that out of you.
Right.
So let's move on to the first question. Um, was there any free agents moves, or was there any free agent moves that you wished the Eagles had pulled off this year that they haven't? Like, is there anybody that's already signed that
I'm thinking. Uh, I mean, I would really say,
well, that's because you deserved it, Gulag Police.
yeah,
Jeez, you should have better sense than being a Giants fan.
it's gotta have been like trades. I would say.
But I appreciate you doing it, Gulag.
What's up, bro? Um,
Is that your homie?
nah. I think that's maybe it might be Logan. It could be. Um,
Hey, you see Waruna here? He says, "What's up?" You remember
what up,
Waruna, right?
Luna? Yeah, I see him in the Niners community a lot. I know him.
Yeah, he's a partner on the channel. He's
Yep,
he's the
that's
co-host.
awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yep,
Um,
he's uh he's my other half.
right.
He's busy taking
Yeah,
care of the kids. They're a little bit sick right now, so he's doing the more important stuff.
right. But I um I what was your question again? Because my train of thought
The
went.
free agents. Did they
Oh, the free agents. Yeah.
what moves do you think they didn't what moves did they whiff on? Like they should have pulled somebody. Who should have they gotten to make themselves better?
Could it also be a trade? Could we throw trades in
Oh yeah,
this?
free agent trade,
What's up,
sure.
Big Bridge? That's one of my subscribers right there. What's up, bro? Um,
What up?
what's up, bro? Um, but yeah, I would say, um, I guess really Justin Reed to the Chiefs. That was a signing the Chiefs made. He's a safety from Houston. I really was gunning for him. Marcus Williams, he got signed to the Ravens. And then, damn, I would also probably say, I don't think Devontae Adams, we should have traded for him. That's just too much money that comes with it. Um, even
I
though he's a
yeah,
great
I would.
player, I just feel like it was really too much money.
I think you could certain position like that when he's the number one. I would rather just go and draft. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like I'm trying to catch somebody who's coming off their rookie deal, who's looking for their first bag. They still got years left, and there's still more arc. You know what I mean? There's still more forward upward progression for them in their skills. You know what I mean? That's what I'm looking for.
And that's exactly what I want. And I'm glad that we have 3 first round picks because now and what's up, Logan? We have more time to evaluate.
Waruna, we'll get to this when we got then little further down in the questions. Okay,
All right,
just want to
we
let them know.
have like more time to evaluate Hurt, so it's better to put pieces around him, and like maybe stack up on the receivers, I would say, and add some pieces there for him on the offensive side, so he doesn't like he has one more year at least just to work, and then we could see if he's a franchise quarterback or not.
I think that's this is the best strategy right now because um, you're talking about next year's draft is really good for quarterbacks supposedly.
Yes,
So
right.
that's the time. But also, this is the thing. There's a lot of other teams that are going to try and get in there. So one move would be to trade somebody to a team that's going to be crappy this year, and then hopefully get their first round pick next year, which will be high, and then you can use that to get your quarterback. What do you think about this? Defensive coordinator Todd Bowles is reportedly going to replace Arians as head coach.
Honestly, I like that. Because I think if it's more of like a situation where like you're in like that state of mind where you need a guy that can, replace someone for a head coaching job, even though you have the quarterback whisperer with Bruce Arians, you could get a guy like Todd Bowles who, he's had troubles in the past with head coaching jobs, but can still do it. And last year, man, he made a big impact to that defense and in that Super Bowl year where they won it all. He made a big impact in both of those years. So honestly, man, if you add him to that, I guess head coaching, staff, well, because he's already in that like positional group already. You just make him a bigger title now. Um, I think it works well for him, and he has experience with most of these players, so they would love him. So I mind that actually. I love that for them.
It
What's
seemed
up,
to
Nate?
me like after what I heard last year, about Leftwich and Brady coming up with plans, and then Arians came in and just kind of threw it out and was like, "Now we're doing something different." After you're talking about the quarterback, in the offensive coordinator have just came up with a good scheme that they feel comfortable in. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about wasting 2-3 days of preparation, probably about two days of preparation, and in a 5-day work week like that, that's a lot of time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, want to say what's up to Nate Show. Thanks for the sub.
What's up, man? What's up, Nate?
We'll sub back. Is
That's
that
one of
one of
my
your homies?
Yep, that's one of my other friends on
I'll make
YouTube.
sure to go back and sub back to you, Nate Show.
He's a good person.
What up, CG?
What's up, CG? What up, bro?
So, yeah, I don't mind that move. I to me, if you got somebody who's getting in the way of your offense like that, nah, that's not my thing. I don't want, especially when you got Tom Brady, you know what I mean, there, who knows what works, who's played all these teams, essentially played all the, not even these teams. Who was it? Who was it? It was Deion Sanders. He said, "Man, I don't follow the players. That doesn't matter to me. I follow the coordinators because no matter what players out on the team, they're going to be playing the same scheme that the coordinator does, right?" So he was talking about I study the offensive coordinators, because then I can tell what their go-tos are, what their reflexes are, and then he can be more, responsive. So he wasn't really worried about their plays. Essentially, he was more worried about, like the coordinator himself. He wasn't worried about, the certain players on the team that much. He was going to watch tape on them, but he wanted to be more about knowing the offensive coordinator's scheme. And I think that might have paved the way for a lot of people. He might have, told people that on his way, and then people passed it down because it seems like nowadays in the NFL, that is what they do.
hmm Right. I mean, I completely agree with you on that. Bruce Arians, I think for all mine, he's honestly pretty good. It's just that you need more ideas in this league. And as you said, Brady's worked in damn near every scheme that you could think of. He knows every scheme and he's played every defense you could think of. So
Yeah,
it's not really that hard for him just to go in one scheme and then work well in it. He's worked well in a lot of schemes before. So
yeah.
yeah.
Because look at uh, New England. Their offense from year to year changes. You know what I mean? after what's his name? After who's the murderer? What's his name? Hernandez? Yeah, Aaron Hernandez. After Aaron Hernandez left, it's not like they went out and found another tight end that was like that so they could do what they did with Gronk and Hernandez. No, they just found another player that was good and figured out how to use him in their scheme. You know what I mean? And it changed their offense a little bit. So you know what I mean? It's not like they continue to do that stuff. It's the offense changes. You know what I mean? Like somebody like Kyle Shanahan, his offense, yes, it changes by players when he's got a player that could do something, crazy. But other than that, if he's, looks at somebody as a base player, he's not going to play to their strengths. He's just going to play them in his system. You know what I mean? Like he
Right.
might play them to their strengths in his system, but he's not going to go out of his way to change his system to make them better. You know what I mean? Or be able to do that. What
Mhm.
up? What up? And so let's see. Let's touch on real quick. Let's touch on the Carson Wentz thing. Let's get
Ooh.
a. Let's get a. You answer this one
Um,
real quick. Do you think Wentz could make a difference last season? I felt Hurts lacked playoff level ability.
I I agree with that in a sense. I feel like there's some things that Hurts is missing in his toolbox. He's a great runner, of course. He's a good athlete, a good athletic player. But it's just the throwing. Like it's more sort of like the downfield accuracy. I would say it's his trouble. It's like he's a very good player to watch, fun player to watch out there, but it's more of the downfield work in terms of his throwing, like his accuracy, especially when it's like deep balls. There's a lot of turnovers and interceptions that come off with some of his deep balls. There's a lot last year. If you just go back and check some of his highlights, you could see like simple things that he needs to work on.
Pat
Um,
McAfee was saying like, yeah, his stats don't reflect what his actual interception rate should or numbers should have been because he was saying a lot of them got dropped and they were just complaining about that. What else did they say? Oh, Jim Irsay came out today and said that he heard some really shocking things. It's the only way he described it. Really shocking things from veteran players that were inside the huddle, essentially. So
right.
shocking players from vets, they're on the offense, and I'm guessing like what's his name? Is it Nelson? Quentin Nelson,
Oh,
or is
Quentin
it
Nelson. Yeah, Quentin Nelson.
isn't he on the or is he on the Titans? Which one? Which one's the good guard that's on the Colts?
Uh, Steven, and I just said Steven Nelson. My bad. Um, I meant to say Quentin Nelson.
So they said that I'm guessing it was him because that's the vet, and that's. But I guess at one point, yeah, he said troubling things was coming out of the huddle, and he said he couldn't believe what he had heard. But also, like Pat McAfee said, he checked out of a run to throw the ball essentially and just give an interception on accident. You know what I mean? But that was his uh his thought process was, oh, let's check out of this run right here to do something risky. You know what I mean? And I'm guessing, everybody on the team, they know. You know what I mean? You sit there and study these plays. You know when you're supposed to check in and out of things. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Right.
Like,
I
you know
completely
what I
agree.
mean? Other than a
When
quarterback calling like a hot route, you know what I mean?
right, he has a weird personality because he has like some talent there. It's not like he's the worst quarterback in the league. It's just that it's so hard to play with this dude. Like it comes back to us. Like when he was here with us, there was so many times where people in the locker room, and this is just the players in the locker room said that they don't want to play with this guy. And and the last year that was he was here, it was clear as day that the entire locker room wanted Hurts as a quarterback, and maybe some guys on that Super Bowl team wanted Wentz as their quarterback, but Hurts was everyone's guy, and it was evident, and everyone just wanted that to be the case. And That's what us Eagles fans believe to be, and some of us thought Wentz was the guy, but Hurts was more the leader to that locker room. So that's kind of why we played him in those 4 games over Wentz.
Gotcha. Um, let's see. Oh, you going in and out of Discord, huh?
Yeah. No, I'm not in it. I'm muted on there.
Oh,
I was like in a
just
call earlier, but it's
you're
on
good.
the yeah. I
Um,
don't know how to turn the thing off, but
oh,
my
don't worry about it. We're good. Um, what are what's your team's draft wants and their draft needs? So start with the needs first, please, and then tell me afterwards. Because you guys got, was it 10 picks?
yes.
10 picks. You got 4 of them in the first 2 rounds. I mean, you guys are killing it. So, what are your needs and what are your wants?
Mm-hmm. I would say our needs is defensive end. We need a cornerback too. We need a receiver more to fill the X next to Devontae Smith, and then we need a younger power back for depth reasons. We also need an interior guard because we just lost our right guard Brandon Brooks because he just retired a couple months ago. And then I would just say, I think that would be really it. I mean, defensive tackle because Fletcher Cox is getting up there in age, and he kind of got released and then resigned. But we got to get some younger guys on this roster.
Gotcha. Yeah, it seems like it's a good draft to do all that. You know what I mean? I mean, I might go wide receiver a little early, wide receiver and edge early, and
Mhm.
then, well, in the first round, I'd probably do wide receiver, edge, and cornerback. If you're gonna keep. Oh, and speaking of that, would you? We were talking a little off air, but would you move down at all and try and pick up some picks on the way?
Mhm. Um, honestly, I want to stay put because I think we need to fill up like dogs on our team because I honestly like how your GM runs things over there in San Francisco. I kind of want it to be that way where we can just fill up our roster, especially on our defensive side, because the Niners. I feel like you're just right now trying to find your quarterback, and I feel like you have that there with Lance. He just needs to get some playing time in there.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
what I want. I kind of just want to build this defense up and then give her something to work with. See if he's the guy. If he's not, you could get a quarterback next year in a quarterback heavy draft. That's kind of what
Yep.
we're looking at right now.
All right. So Jenkins retired today. What's your thoughts on his career?
Absolutely amazing career. Love the guy to death. Was such a great leader. To any locker room he stepped in. Um, he ever stepped foot in. He was just like a great leader, great person to talk to for any like younger players in the locker room, especially in his time in Philly. Um, he was just an amazing mentor. He was one of the reasons we won the Super Bowl. He nailed that hit on Brandon Cooks in the Super Bowl, which was a little bit intentional, but hey, it helped us get the dub because Brandon Cooks would have made a big impact in that game. But I I love um Malcolm Jenkins as a player. He's amazing player and I'll always like have a special place in my heart. It's just a person, leader, and a mentor for all the other guys in the locker room in that Super Bowl roster in that year too. That was an amazing year.
Gotcha. Kelly Green uniforms, bro.
Yes.
Excited for that?
Glad that you brought that up. I am so excited for that, man. Um, I I have been screaming for this. The last time we saw these unis was in I think 2010. Um, and I'm just so happy they're back. We're fighting for these Kelly Green jerseys. All our content creators wanted them back. You got guys like Philly 500 screaming for them, and then we finally get them back. I'm so happy, man. I mean, just the words can't describe it. Kelly Green unis are about to be sick, and I can't wait to see Hurts and Devontae Smith in those jerseys, man.
Who do you think has the number one jersey sales in those?
Oh, Devontae Smith by far.
Okay.
That's not even a question, man. That dude, Devontae Smith in that jersey. Oh, that's gonna be beautiful. Green, Cali Green. Oh,
You know what I don't like? I don't like the wings on the helmets.
oh yeah. I mean,
I don't like them up close like that. You know what I mean? I don't think it looks I think it would be better if it was down here off the sides. You know what I mean? And like the face mask would be like the breast of the eagle, you know what I mean? And then like the wings would be coming off of it, you know. I don't like it up over the top.
right,
I was looking
right,
at those today and I'm like, you know, it would be look a lot cooler if they were off to the side, I think. You know what I mean?
right. I
Right above
completely
the ear
agree
hole.
with you. I would like that too.
Because then, you know, you could have a different colored face mask and it would look like the breast of the eagle.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes a ton of sense. I think it would work that way. It just depends on how Jeffrey Lurie feels, the owner, because he's brought the jerseys back, but I don't know what he's gonna do to him. Like he might lay him back and stuff like that, but it's got to come off the side of the helmets because it looks so much better. That looks like prime Eagles. Like it just takes it back like to Eric Allen days.
So what I would do is I would leave the Kelly greens as they were, and I would come up with a different green, and I would give the wings a different look. You know what I mean? Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Let's how what would it? I don't know. Make it look like cut up prime rib or something like that for the like Philly cheesesteak. You know, the meat and the
Oh,
Philly
I
cheesesteak.
like that idea. I
Some
like that
ribeye. You
idea.
know, make it look like it's ribeyes. You know what I mean? Bam. No,
Right.
no, but you know what I mean. Some kind of different graphic to make the whole look. You know, like I don't know, like you take the Kelly Green look, the graphics, and then you know make like a new age version, but you know maybe like a I don't know, make it look like one of them jets. Have you ever seen like where they make things look like a P-51 Mustang or something like that, where it's all in like blocks, but they like make it look like it curves and it's got rivets or something. You could do something to make it like look like totally different and give it another look with a different green, like you go in a neon green or something and make it look like the wings are like made out of like formed metal. You know what I mean? Like somebody bent metal around something and riveted it together, make it look like something you think some
I
like
get that.
robot from a 60s movie would have, like wings that a robot from the 60s movies would have, or something like, you know, it's something cool, graphic, you know what I mean? Totally different, but it's a play off of the same look as the Kelly Green. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
I don't know. I like be doing graphics and doing stuff like that.
I get that.
So are you getting a Kelly Green jersey?
Oh, I gotta see, man. I think I might get a Devontae Smith jersey. If it comes out, yeah, I gotta go get that. There's no way I can just not go get that. That jersey is just so like just dope, man. I have to go get those.
So now, your left tackle.
Right.
Can you pronounce his name for me?
Jordan Mailata.
Mailata. Okay. Yeah. When I look at it now, it's easy, Mailata. But I think like Mailata. Uh,
Yeah.
but he almost quit back in 2019. It was getting really hard on him. to do it. He was injured. He felt like he wasn't getting anywhere. And his coaches said, "No, man, you're being too hard on yourself. You're getting there. You're getting there. It's not like it's going to happen overnight, but you're getting there." And he stuck with it. And what was it? $65 million contract?
Right.
Yeah. So like, there's 65 million reasons, good reasons why he stayed. Um, where would you be right now if you didn't have him? What kind of moves do you think they would have had to do to fill his role? Like, also, how long was his contract for?
Yeah, his contract was just about, I think, 4 years. He got extended to a 4 year. I think it was like 80 something mil. Maybe I think it was at like 80. It was 4 years, 64 million over the next 4 seasons. It was a
Gotcha.
really good deal. I love the deal for him. And then just for the fact that he's such a great person in the locker room and everyone likes him, um, presents so much, capabilities on that field, and just such a big man, such a hard worker, um, you know, amazing person to talk to. Um, you know, I, I I think just like the character was one for the coaches, and not only what he can do in the locker room as just a person, but what he can do on that field in terms of playing. I think it was a must. You had to resign this guy.
Yeah. No, it seems when you get a good left tackle, you got to keep him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And any good dude is going to try and do their best to make sure their quarterback is safe. So I mean, he's got that's good attributes. You're
And
talented
that's your
and you
quarterback's
care about
blind side
people.
too.
What's up?
That's your quarterback's blind side. So gotta
Oh yeah.
gotta
Oh
resign that.
yeah. Being a tackle is no joke. I mean, it's how to put it. It's almost like you're out on an island when you're in pass protection,
Hmm.
and it's tough. So being able to block some of these extremely talented defensive ends that essentially they have no rules. You know what I mean? The defensive players don't have any rules they really have to go by. Like, but as an offensive lineman, you have rules like as far as where you can hold people essentially and grip them. You know what I mean? So like with against going up against somebody that has no rules and can do whatever, and you have to stay within uh a certain set of rules. It's hard to do things, especially when unexpected things happen. So for anybody to be as talented a player as him, I mean, it takes a lot. I mean, it's hard. And those guys on the defense, they're so talented, not only like with their hands and such, but so gifted athletically and so quick. That's the other thing. Like, some of these guys, they got you beat by the time they take the first step. You know what I mean? Like, you can't get back quick enough because they're so quick. You know what I mean? You have to have somebody else in the backfield to at least slow them up, and then your tackle can get to them. It's crazy, some of these guys
All right.
nowadays.
This dude that I talked to on YouTube, his name's Alex. He's a Giants fan. He's a cool dude. He kind of labeled it to where like the left tackle and the center. He morely focused on the center, but the left tackle and the center is like the catcher. It's kind of like in baseball where it's like the catcher is the important piece for the pitcher. Because if there's no catcher in baseball, then the pitcher is kind of screwed. You need
Well,
the catcher and pitcher is like aligned to for together, and then the center position and the left tackle position are like kind of aligned for the quarterback. Like Spig is like
I
two
I
help.
I would say it's more like the center is the catcher and the tackle is the shortstop. The
Right,
pitcher is the
right.
quarterback.
That's a perfect way to put it.
You know what I mean? Like when you're just talking about like line calls and all that. You know what I mean? Your your left tackle is the one who's going to be well, and he might not always be getting the most because the most talented person because a lot of things they're doing in the league now is since the right tackle is usually the less gifted one. They've started moving the best player onto the right side, even though it's not the blind side. They're working to. It actually works better in that way because if the quarterback can see that their right tackle just got destroyed, what are they going to do? They're either going to throw the ball in a bad situation or throw the ball away. You know what I mean? They
Mm-hmm.
might not have an open receiver at that time, or else they would already be throwing the ball. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and if they're looking at where their tackle is, they've got a bigger problem. You know what I'm saying? So I
Most
think that's
definitely.
a good strategy they got. Um, yeah. Well, I'm out of questions. You want to just sit and bullshit? I
Yeah.
know you. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about the question, and it relates to Trey Lance. What do you think about Trey Lance as your like quarterback for the future and beyond? Like, are you comfortable with him as your franchise quarterback for the future and ever? Or
I
like,
would say so at the moment. So one thing I really like about Trey Lance is pretty much all the way up until this point, and even now, everybody's pretty much said you can't do it. You can't be a quarterback at this high level. You can't do this. You can't do that. And all the steps along the way until he got into the NFL, he has proved everybody wrong by just go ahead and doing whatever he said they couldn't. They said he couldn't do. So he wills some of this stuff to happen, and it's because he's extremely athletic and he's a very hard worker. And that's how someone can will these things for happen. Is he always going to be able to just set his mind on something and it work? No. Like he can go to the Super Bowl and lose it. You know what I mean? But I feel that if that happens, he's coming back with a vengeance. But I don't think he would. I think he's smart. He knows what his role is. That's the other thing. He was in a real run heavy offense in college, and they threw the ball down the field, but that was just kind of open up the field a little bit, so to give their running back more room instead of the defense crowding in. So he knows what it's like to be that player where it's not about you, it's about you being a part of the offense. You know what I mean? So it's not about showing everything the quarterback can do. It's showing what the offense can do with everybody at their positions doing their job effectively. And he knows that, yes, he might be the quarterback, he might call the plays, but it seems like he understands he's just a tool. You know what I mean? He's not the only tool. He knows that he has to work well with other people to get this one done. And so he's, and I don't know, did you see the leaked clips this offseason?
yeah. They were showing a little bit of his deep balls, and I seen a couple of deep balls that he threw last year to Trent
Did you
Sherfield.
see
I'm
that
liking his accuracy
that
work this year too.
that clip where he's working his way to the left and he throws that ball and it's like it's on this really different angle. Like it's not like odd, but it's like he threw it and it was like going sideways as he threw it. Like the ball wasn't pointed sideways. The throw was sideways. Like it was going diagonally across the field as he's throwing straight, but it's like turning down. It was some crazy ass throw, and he like I can't remember what happened on the other end, like as far as where the defensive backs were, but I remember he got over somebody and around somebody else with that pass. It was crazy. It was like he had it was a guided missile almost. You know what I mean? Like how
Mhm.
it perfectly avoided both things, and it was like going on a weird angle, so they couldn't. You know what I mean? Like if he would thrown it straight, the thing would have been batted down back in his face. But he threw it at a particular angle, so the ball he, like threw it straight, but it went sideways like that as it's going. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy.
Right.
That beast, and he can run. Like his first two plays this year were like touchdowns.
Mhm.
Like, how do you defend
That's
against that?
impressive.
Yeah. Like his first, I know his first play was a touchdown. They brought him in down on the red zone. Boom, he ran for a touchdown. Okay. And then we stopped doing that. It was like, why? Why? Bring him in the red zone. Bring him in the red zone. Get Jimmy out of there. Jimmy's not very good in the red zone. Well, the Niners aren't necessarily good in the red zone. They're good with being outside of the red zone and breaking a tackle and or making a move and juking somebody and just running in. What they're really bad at is like throwing it from like 7 yards out. You know what I mean? Like that's a really bad spot for us. 7 yards out, first or end goal from the 7 yard line. That's a bad spot for us.
Mhm. Right.
What do you see your
Um,
team going forward? Do you have like a offensive strategy that like you wish they would employ?
uh, I would probably say maybe I think really right now for us is just adding a number two receiver, like a dominant number two, or maybe even adding a better number one. And I'm not saying Devontae Smith can't be a one. I'm just saying you could always find because of course Devontae Smith is a one. But we just need to find someone that can, go right next to him. And I think you can find that through the draft, but you need to find someone that could like really fit that two role. And we signed a receiver in free agency this year, Zach Pascal. He's from the Colts. He's a good, decent receiver. He's not amazing, but he give you good depth and a good three to work with. But we just need that number two that we could just trust like fully with Devontae Smith. But if we
You
add
need to
that, if we add like a big running back, a bruiser, then we're good.
what you got anybody big for the slot?
We got our slot guy. We're good. We just need we need a two. I think we just need more of like a I guess I would say like maybe through the draft. Maybe I think we're looking through the second round right now, or at that 19th pick. We're
No,
still
but do you
hesitant.
have somebody big for the
What's up?
Anquan Bolden? Do you
You're
remember
cutting.
Anquan Bolden? Oh no.
No, you were
Do you
cutting in
remember
and out a little bit for there. I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you.
do you remember Anquan Bolden?
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying when you should always I think every team needs a big guy that they can put in the slot who can get you 3 yards no matter what. So like the 49ers don't have necessarily a big guy, but we got Jawan Jennings and that guy's a dog. I implore you to watch the game against the Rams, I think it was. I don't know. He caught a ball and he was like 2 yards short of the first down. It was like it was go time. We had to score. We had to get down the field, and he was 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He catches the ball. As he catches it, the defender grabs it. Right, it grabs
Right.
his hand and the ball, and next thing you know, another defender comes in, grabs his hands and the ball, and Juwan Jennings is dragging them and the attached to the ball across the first down marker
Yeah.
backwards. So like
That's
he's got his back to the end zone and he's pulling them towards him and for 2 yards to get the first down. That guy is a dog. I love him. I love people who just, who got that not today, not on me. You know what I'm saying? Got
right.
that mentality. It's not happening today, and it definitely ain't happening to me. You know what I mean? I love them people. Like
Right.
Steve Smith. I love Steve Smith Sr. I wish he would have been a Niner.
Oh yeah, I love him.
That man, I don't think he ever took a playoff really. I'm sure there might have been a time or this or that, but like that man was always like intense and totally focused on the game. And I really appreciated that for him. He was a dog. And man, I really appreciate that, man. He's also a 49ers fan. I never knew that until I started watching today. I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a 49ers blanket he's had since I think he was like 4 or 5 or something like that. He's still got that thing. Shout
Oh,
out.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, why couldn't we have had him on the team? You know what I mean? Because it as a fan, it's nice to have another fan that plays for your team. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want Tom Brady, but at the same time, it's like, well, if Tom wants to come back and play for the Niners, I wish he would have done it last year if he was going to do it. But Tom wants to play for the Niners. Okay, well, I wouldn't mind him taking his last hurrah as a Niner. That would be fine. You know what I mean? I would want to do that if I was him and a 49ers fan. You know what I mean? Growing up, that's the only team I'd be trying to play for my whole life. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. 1000%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually wanted to ask you, how did you feel about you guys not resigning Laken Tomlinson and then him going to the Jets?
Well, we lost him and DJ Jones. Okay, those are the big gut checks. DJ Jones, I don't know if you know about DJ Jones.
Yes.
You know much about him?
Right.
Yes. That man got handles. You don't want to play basketball with that man. That man is 300 plus pounds, and he's going to make you look silly. You're going to snap both your ankles, and your mom is going to disown you because that man. So when the weeks that the 49ers play the Cardinals, DJ Jones acts like Kyler Murray for the defensive line to chase. And he's almost like a 1-to-1 copy of him. You know what I mean? As far as the movement and how quick and agile he is. So like DJ Jones, like I know he didn't go for a lot of money, but he's definitely worth every penny. Lincoln got paid, I think, more than he's worth. But Lincoln is a solid guy, and he did a great job last year. But he also was next to Trent Williams, who's the best tackle in the game. So it's real easy to do your job well when you've got somebody who's just handling their business left and right next to you. Like, not just that, but he can finish his guy and help you with yours. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if you know much about offensive line, but that's something that happens. You push your guy down, they fall on the ground, you go find another guy to push. You know what I mean? Like,
yes. Yeah. That, especially for like watching it and then like actually like seeing it on the field, it's so much like more different too. It's like they're just out there trucking dudes and throwing them on the floor. It's crazy.
did you see that one play where Trent Williams pulled? I think it was in Green Bay. Trent Williams pulls and he straight like hits, I can't remember who it was, but he just annihilated a defensive player for Green Bay who was in the gap. And I mean, I felt so bad for that guy because Trent Williams is a big boy and he moved really fast. Like, he's like the second quickest big guy we got on the team or had on the team. DJ Jones would have been the first, and as far as like, holy shit, is that a 350-pound man moving? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, really? But Trent Williams is that second dude who could do it. And oh my God, like all that weight moving that quick or that fast. Oh, his mama probably stuttered after that hit. I'm just saying, like, his mama got a stutter now. She talk about what just happened. You know what I'm saying? She's at home sleeping and all of a sudden woke up in the middle of the night, got a stutter and a headache.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. And we got another guy.
Yeah, Charvarius Ward. What'd you think about that?
Charvarius Ward. I think he's gonna come out. I think he's gonna do pretty good. Some people are like, why? but Bay Area Baller, shout out to Bay Area Baller. He's really high on this pick, and he's pretty good with picking things. You know what I mean? He's a real big fan of Zach Wilson. Verdict's still out there. I don't think we can call it just yet on Zach or any of these rookie quarterbacks. I think you need at least 3 years, 3 years before you can really figure out what is going to happen with them. You know what I mean? Something about like 40 games. You know what I mean?
1,000%, man. 1,000%. And then like, what do you expect to Well, I mean, I would say more of like, what do you expect your record to be next year if Lance has
Ooh.
just this pinpoint amazing season?
So we got we play the AFC. Oh, what's the best division in the AFC now?
West.
Is it the AFC West?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we play the AFC West next year. That's going to be tough, but at the same time, the 49ers, no matter how they looked the week before with that defense, normally, no matter how explosive an offense is, the 49ers defense can put them in a phone booth. You know what phone booths are essentially?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if so back in the day when you made a phone call, you'd have a little phone booth, you go in there. They're really, really small, right? Can't do anything.
Right.
49ers put people in a phone booth. And if you can find a way to open the door and get out of the door, you can win. But if you can't, it's going to be a slugfest. Okay. Now, with somebody like Trey Lance at the helm who can throw farther down the field and open up the center of the field essentially for our run game, because now you have to respect the downfield ball. So if you're going to play up close, we're going to kill you, behind. We're going to kill you by throwing it behind you. And if you spread out to cover the deep ball, we're going to gash you with runs. You know what I mean? I'm thinking that next year we're going to have, our running backs will probably have a 4 to maybe like 5 yard per run average with Trey Lance in there, because every run play at this point from now on, if Trey's in the game, should have some look where Trey Lance looks like he keeps the ball, and that's going to pause somebody, and that's what's going to get us that extra yard or 2 per carry. So our record, I'm saying we can go 13-4. We can go 11-6, somewhere around there.
I could see that. I just want to say, appreciate you for having me on, man. I gotta go. About to go to bed here soon, but I want to like really say appreciate you for, really having me, and anytime I get to collab with anyone in the YouTube community, it's always much appreciated. And just the honor of just like you texting me, hitting me up, and like even asking me for like this. I'm just happy, man. I'm just happy. But appreciate you for having me on. Maybe we could work again in the future.
Most definitely.
For sure, man. But peace out, man.
Peace out. Now, all Big Play Slay's information is in the description. He's got his Twitter and his YouTube down there, so please go sub to him and follow him. Check out his socials. With that, I think we're going to wrap it up. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Peace.